Justin Fields is talking to the St. Brown brothers on their podcast, and apparently that is out. He told, according to my guy, our diehard guy, Gary Ross, who's putting it in the chat about different comments that Fields made, the reason why he unfollowed the Bears is that basically he's human and that he unfollowed the NFL altogether because he wants other stuff than football on his timeline. And here's Fields. Here's a quote. "I just want it to be over. Let me know if I'm being traded. Let me know if I am staying."
Wow.
So there you go. I mean, that's real life right there. People want to know where they are going to be, who they're going to be working for. It's stressful to be sitting in the middle of not knowing. I get it. And he's also basically saying that whatever happens, I'm good. He just wants to know. Right. So he can plan his life.
Right. If you think, us here on the show or Bears Twitter arguing about this ad nauseum is nauseating and getting under everyone's skin, imagine being the guy that it actually affects, and the family that it actually affects. And I do feel bad for Justin in this instance, and I do hope, nice shirt, Lawrence, we're twins today. I do hope that there is clarity sooner rather than later for Justin's sake and the Bears' sake and the fan base's sake and the podcast people's sake. Like, we're all over it. But first and foremost, Justin Fields is the person most directly affected by this. So, it's interesting. I mean, obviously Ryan Poles isn't really tipping his hand to Justin as far as what they're doing because, he said, whether I stay or I go, I don't care. I just want to know what I'm doing. So,
look, nobody needs to have a pity party for Justin Fields. Dude's living a great life. He's making millions of dollars. He's earned all of that, by the way. So congratulations to Justin and anybody else who's gotten to that level. But this is part of what comes with being in that profession. It's part of the reason why you make all the dollars. And he's also speaking honestly, like this, hey, all the money that I have in my bank account doesn't mean that I don't sit up at night and wonder where I'm going to be next year and what my opportunity will be. If he does he did say on there that one of his favorite places to play is Pittsburgh, where he had one of his greatest games in the NFL, a game that the Bears should have won. Fields led a comeback that didn't happen. He doesn't get credit for that comeback because the Bears D didn't hold it.
He's pushing. I mean, and there's a clip where you can watch Mike Tomlin during Justin Fields, at his pro day. And Tomlin's like, you're who we came to see, and so Mike Tomlin certainly is, a factor in that. Because I've heard a lot of people bring up the Falcons, and I just think from the Bears standpoint, do they really want to trade? If they had the option between trading him in the NFC or the AFC, I would think they'd want to trade him to the AFC.
Well, I think the Falcons get it brought up because, one, their QB situation isn't great, and two, it's the connections that they already have to Justin Fields.
It makes sense for Justin, but for the Bears, are you really wanting to send him? Hogue talked about this a couple months ago. Where you trade him, affects how it looks for Ryan Poles, and you send him to a perfect situation. I'm sure would be doing right by him, and in a vacuum, that sounds nice, but at the same time, Ryan Poles has got to protect himself. And if he's got the choice between Pittsburgh or Atlanta and the offers aren't really that much different, he might want to just send him to the AFC so he doesn't have to deal with Justin Fields and the potential of that blowing up in his face, right?
When's the next time the Bears face the Falcons?
It's not even, they're both in the NFC. You send Justin Fields to the AFC, good luck getting through that gauntlet to get to the Super Bowl every year.
All right, I don't want to debate this one too hard, but you're saying that Fields or that Poles' decision on where he trades would be a potential playoff matchup, and you don't want to face him? That seems kind of crazy to me. Look, take the best. If you're trading him, take the best deal. I'm not worried if I'm Ryan. NFC, AFC, even in the division, if you're moving on, they're not. Obviously, that's not going to happen because everybody in the division is spoken for.
I was saying if the offers aren't really that much different, that you're going to choose the AFC, team over the NFC.
And it could come down to that the Vikings are not spoken for, depending on what Kirk Cousins decides, although everybody thinks he's going to be back in Minnesota, or most do. I do. He seems like a guy that looks pretty happy there, living his Minnesota life with his wife and his fake fires and his terrible clothing and all that. And the Vikings obviously have a guy by the name of Justin Jefferson who's fun to throw to, so I think Kirk will stay. But regardless, look, I think the Bears, it is interesting to hear Justin talking for a couple of reasons for me. One, the Bears, there is no question that they have a ton of respect for Justin and the way he's gone about his business. So if they were trying to move on, or if they were deciding to move on, would they try to speed that along to try to accommodate him, seeing that he's literally unfollowing the NFL and his former team because it's rattling him, to see the stuff right now, because that's the stress that he's in and maybe the disappointment that he feels. If there's going to be some part of him that's going to be sad that that the original team that drafted him, who traded up for him, is ultimately saying that they don't want him anymore because of, even though they have this great option, which you can feel a little bit better about that, but it's going to hurt. I mean, it would hurt me. I'd want to kill the Bears if they were moving on from me. I'd want to scream at them about every reason why I wasn't successful.
Right.
Guys, our GM, Jake Flanagan, did send in a 1:45 clip from the podcast talking about the unfollow, if you want to go to that now.
Sure, let's hear it.
Okay. I mean, it's true.
Yeah. Well, since we're here, hold on.
But I mean, we're not comparing.
No. Since we're here,
all right, come on.
What's with the unfollow with the Bears? What's up with that?
Man, bro, I'm glad we're talking about it, because why do people take social media so serious? Like,
but like, why you don't follow the Bears?
This and that. Like, I still mess with the Bears, this and that. I'm just trying to take a little break. I unfollow the Bears and the NFL, bro. I'm not just trying to have football on my timeline. Like, I know y'all mess with a girl, EQ, especially you. Just because you don't follow the girl on IG, don't mean you're not messing with them.
That's true. That's true. That's facts. That's facts.
But you follow Luciana, right?
But listen, that's my girlfriend though. That's different. But I'm saying, like, when you're single, you really messing with the girls you don't follow more than the girls you follow.
You feel me?
Oh, like, so you're saying you mess with the Bears? You're saying you mess with the Bears more now that you don't follow them?
Man, it's not even like that.
Okay.
It's something that I don't want to see in my timeline. I'm about to go on vacation. I don't want to see no football. And guess what?
Just get away. Get a little away from
every Bears post. It's either
let's see who you follow.
Let's see who follows. It's either Draft Caleb. So it's like, bruh, man, I'm tired of hearing the talk. We want Caleb. We want Caleb. Like, it's just, bro, like, it's time to just.
So you're telling me you don't follow no football, bro? You follow.
I follow Ohio State football. I don't follow the NFL. I don't follow the Bears.
Bleacher Report.
It's basketball season. They're not posting nothing about football, dog.
Wow.
I freaking love that. That's awesome.
Amon-Ra is hilarious, pressing him like that, going through his follows. I mean, I like when we were talking about it the other day, it was like I couldn't even really determine whether or not he did follow him before, or if he even was 100% not following the Bears. I know everybody was like doing their own research on it, but to hear him say that he did physically unfollow the Bears and the NFL is like, wow, and it just goes to show you, like, some people were like, oh, he has a social media team that handles his Instagram, or, like, yeah, I'm sure he does have people that work with him on that stuff, but no, he does run his own Instagram account. I mean, this generation of kids, they live on social media. I live on social media. You know what I mean? So, like, it's not surprising to hear him say that he's that active on Instagram, that he doesn't want to see it on his timeline. But, it's like, wow.
Credit to Matt Nagy with a comment here, Coach. Thank you for this one. Which is more telling? Mitch Trubisky had to turn off the TVs, or Justin's going on vacation and he doesn't want to see any football on his timeline? That's kind of an equal level of botherment.
Yeah, I mean,
look at what the Bears have done, man.
Anybody that wanted, so this is what I'll say. Anybody that wanted to be critical of Mitch doing that, it's the same thing with this, so you got to keep that same energy in a lot of ways. But I'm not one of those people. When people were hard on Mitch about it, watch The Last Dance, right? You give the weirdest faces. Just let me get through the sentence first. You watched The Last Dance, right?
I did, Greg.
Or there was a moment in The Last Dance where Michael Jordan walked into the trainer's room. They had the TV on before the game, and Michael turned it off because they didn't want to hear the pregame talk.
Okay.
So, like, you know, people that draw these say, oh, look at he's soft. He said he had to turn off the TV. He said he didn't want it on his timeline. Well, Michael Jeffrey Jordan once turned the TV off before a game. Like, sometimes they want to block out the noise. So, for me, like, I wasn't one of those people that was hard on Mitch about it, so I'm not going to sit here and be hard on Fields about it. But there are plenty of fans that did drag Mitch about it, and let's see if they keep that same energy for Justin.
Okay, all right. That's a weird conversation too, but yes, people got on Mitch for that, and maybe, and I'm seeing it here. Some of the things you're going to get on Justin for unfollowing. I would just say, dude, go on vacation, leave your phone in the room. Enjoy the sounds of the ocean.
It's not what kids do. It's not what I do. I went to Florida. You guys were like, unplug. There's no such thing for people of our generation. Your baby boomer generation barely knows how to turn on the phone.
Oh, okay. You should listen to us.
You've got a dial-up thing.
That's right. I do. I love the old dial thing. That was awesome. You never had that in your life?
What was that called?
It's called a rotary phone, Greg.
Rotary.
It's a
rotary phone.
Yeah.
Sit down, Jim.
847-433-2720. The Piacentes.
Yes.
My guy Simon.
Okay.
All right.
Interesting. Because apparently he also unfollowed the Bears on his dog's Instagram account.
He doesn't want to see it, dude.
He doesn't want to see it.
He doesn't. He wants to be out of sight, out of mind. He wants to be in his cocoon. He wants to enjoy his vacation.
Which I get. I mean, this is the conversation on this has just been out of control. You know, like he said, Team Justin, Team Caleb. You know, it's completely jumped the shark.
Well, what was interesting there too? Wait a second. You're talking to a girl as they're talking about, as they put it, messing with, and yet you unfollowed who you were messing with, but you're still messing with them? Is that the unfollow to keep the scent of that girl from other women, or what can you explain that one for me? Why would you unfollow somebody who you're messing with? Can anybody help me with this?
You know, playing hard to get.
Playing hard to get.
Yeah.
The old playing hard to get.
I mean, I don't know.
You
know, I started dating Jenny before social media really took off, so I was retired from the game by the time social media hit. So you'll have to ask these kids. I never did Tinder or anything like that, and I'm grateful for that, as it probably would have gotten me in a lot of trouble.
All right, just to bottom line what we just learned. What did we just learn? Justin
Justin definitely unfollowed the Bears.
Right.
But it wasn't because he was told he's going to be traded. It's because he doesn't want to hear about it anymore. He also said that he's done with this conversation, just wants to know where he's going, whether he's staying or going.
I think Crystal just spoke the truth. If you're messing with someone, that means you're messing with multiple. Thank you, Crystal, for underlining what actually is going on.
Okay.
All right. So we learned that, I think we learned also that EQ has an active social life. Did we not just learn that? He called him out there. EQ, you unfollow people that you're messing with.
Yeah.
EQ's doing work.
Yeah.
Go EQ. Live that NFL athlete life.
Okay.
We also learned that Justin's going on vacation. He's going to take some time off. And we learned nothing about whether or not he's going to be here or not be here for everybody who's going to jump to that one. But there's no new news there.
Right, but that also means that Ryan Poles hasn't told him anything of we're keeping him too.
That's correct. He has not been communicating.
And, when you talk about the Kevin Warren interview a week ago where it was like, Kevin's all in with keeping Fields. And I do think if it was up to Kevin Warren, they would keep Fields. But at the end of the day, what Justin just said is they haven't told him one way or the other. And you would think that if he was for sure your guy, that they would have at least told him. Now you want to play the leverage game, and Justin's not going to tell all the layers of it. Of course, Justin's not going to come on and say what Ryan's telling him, but it does genuinely sound like they haven't spoke since the season ended, right?
I wouldn't go that far. I think they've spoken. I just don't think that, it's clear that Justin does not know what they're going to do, and it's starting to weigh on him, and he unfollowed the Bears, and he unfollowed everything football so he can go on vacation and try to chill out and get some time away from all of this. And it's a little stress on him right now. I get it. I totally get it.
We got one more quote here before we get to the next thing, and Justin says, yeah, of course I want to stay. I can't see myself playing in another place. If it was up to me, I would want to stay in Chicago.
I'm glad we put that up there. Right. Yes, which is why this is stressful for him, because he wants to stay. And he wants to see it through, and he wants to win here, which is why I have underlined for the zillionth time that the best, most romantic, coolest story would be if the Bears did it with Justin. It's not that long ago that we can all remember the Atlanta game at Soldier Field when they're chanting for him and he's playing out of his mind. And you can see the love for the Bears quarterback. Love that we haven't seen for many Bears quarterbacks. Any Bears quarterbacks other than Justin, seriously.
Right. Because I see El Sancho in the chat saying, PR response from Fields, what else would you expect him to say? And I always hear that, like, deferred statement to everything anybody ever says publicly. Well, what else would they say? Well, I mean, technically, Fields could demand a trade. Fields could say, you know what? I'm sick of this limbo. I'm sick of not being told what I'm going to do. So, you know what? I want to be traded.
Which is not him. You're right. He could just, hey man, like, jump in front of it. Yeah. I don't care what they're doing as far as what I want out of here. You haven't supported me. This is not the best place for me to play football. I want to be gone. He could have done that but that's just not him.
We all silly like the mayor.